Alright, what's going on YouTube? We are back. We're going to react. This one was requested by one of you guys. So we are going to react to Grant Cardone. Buying your house is one of the dumbest investments you can make. That's what he's saying. So I haven't seen this video. We're going to watch it and react to it. And I'd love y'all participation in the chat. Every so often I will bring one of y'all comments onto the screen. And we'll have a discussion. So, what's up, everybody? Everybody who just got in, let's get started watching this video. Let's go. Vlad TV.
Okay. So now you have this massive amount of real estate. What I found interesting also, I watched one of your videos, and this is something that I do as well.
I like Grant.
I have a property in Calabasas. I have a big, a nice house in Calabasas. I also have an apartment in
Okay, Vlad. Vlad
I rent
TV.
both of them. I don't
He
own
rents
any
them?
property. Yeah. In terms of where I live. Here you are with a $1.2 billion net worth, and you don't own a house, a personal house.
Yeah, I rent my house.
Right.
I get a better loan on it because I rent it. I could own I could have a LLC own it and rent it back to me, and I'd still get a better deal.
All right, so guys, I've been following Grant Cardone since I think he had like 10,000 subscribers. Like, I'm talking about before I even started a YouTube channel, I was watching Grant Cardone. So I feel like I know a lot about him as far as what he puts out there in the public. But I'm pretty sure he bought his house. The one in Miami, the penthouse or whatever. And he said something that was key there. He said, I could have an LLC purchase it and rent it from the LLC. You still kind of own the home, Grant. You still kind of own the home. The LLC needs to show cash flow so then in turn you can use that LLC and leverage it for another loan, but you still own the home, man. Like, I feel like that's kind of like misleading a little bit. Let's continue.
So, I rent where I live. I treat houses like hospitals. You get in, you get out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
The grocery store, Whole Foods. I don't buy the whole grocery store. I go get the stuff I need.
Hey, I agree with that, and here's why I agree with that. And I hate to keep cutting him off. But the reason why I agree with that is because if there's a tax law. If you live in your home for at least 2 of the last 5 years. So let's say you live in the home for 2 years, or let's say you live in it for 1 year, you fix it up while you're living there, and after that 1 year, you rent it out for 2 years, okay? The renters, they leave, you come back to the house, you live in it for a year, and you fix it up or something, and then you rent it back out. Or you live in it, I've done this. I lived in a house for 2 years that I bought for 2 years, fixed it up while I was living there, and then rented it out. If you've lived in that house for 2 of the last 5 years, you can sell the house. Whatever your profit is, you can put in your pocket and not pay any taxes. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Because let's Google this real quick. Hold on, let's see. Because we're learning together. So let's see what is tax on gains from selling home. Let's see. Yeah, it depends on how long you've owned and lived. Let's look at this. It depends on how long you've lived in the home before you sell, how much profit, blah, 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 blah. Look, and lived in the place for 2 of the 5 years before the sale. Then up to $250,000 is of the profit is tax free. And if you're married, file a joint return, the tax free amount is $500K. Whoa. So this is why I remember growing up. Check this out. I remember growing up. My mom used to and I love my mother. She's sick right now, but love you, Mom. But my mom used to always say, like, why are these people moving every other year or every 3 years or every 4 years? They don't need that big of a house. They don't need that. The reason why they're doing it isn't because they want to live in a bigger house. It's because of the capital gains they get if they do this every 2 or 3 years. If the house has equity and they move every 2 or 3 years, let's say you bought a house for 200 grand. In 2 years, it goes up to 280. You pull out 60 grand, you sell the house, you make 60 grand on that deal. You take that 60 grand, you put it as a down payment for your next property. It's going to be a bigger property because you're hoping that in 2 to 5 years, when you move out of that house, it has appreciated. And let's say the next time you move, you got 200 grand in equity. Now you put a $200,000 down payment on a bigger house. And you keep playing this game. Before you know it, you're in a multi-million-dollar home that you can then refinance. You can pull equity. You can sell it. You can downsize. You see a lot of rich people downsizing. It's because they're done. They don't want to do that no more. They've made enough money from that strategy. And so now they're going to cash out tax-free and downsize to a condo somewhere because the kids have moved out or something. Whoa, that's crazy. That's a big deal. And here's the kicker. Grant Cardone does that. But what he does is he puts his properties under an LLC, rents it out to himself. That's what he'll do. All right, because now it's a rental property. He could depreciate the asset. There's a lot of extra tax benefits, so you'll make more money that way. So he's onto something there. He's right about that, but it's misleading the way he's doing it. He's not really trying to give you the game. He's making you intrigued. He's making you think, why would he do that? I need to dig in a little deeper. Maybe I'll buy one of his courses so I can really understand what he's trying to say. And I bet you just off of that episode, he sold a bunch of courses because people want to know more about why wouldn't you think a home is a good strategy? Because even if you were going to buy your home, you should buy it as a rental property, LLC it, rent it to yourself, because now you could depreciate it, get all kinds of tax benefits from it, but you're still reaping the benefits of owning a home, like equity, appreciation, those type of things. But yeah, if you got a home, sell that thing every 2 to 5 years. Flip that thing like crazy. But let's see what is the capital gains tax on selling a home? I want to know this information because I don't know the number off the top of my head. So let's Google it. What is the capital gains tax on on a home? The reason why I'm like typing so horribly is because I'm reaching around my mic like this. 15%. So if you sell your house in 1 year as opposed to 2 years, or if you sell your house and let's say it's a rental property, you've never lived in it. You sell the house and you get a capital gains tax. Let's say you make your equity is 100 grand. When you sell it, not only are you gonna have to pay the realtor's fees and that's expensive. That's like 6% if you got a seller and it's usually like 6%. You got your closing costs, things of that nature, and then you tack on that extra 15%. If you made 100 grand on that deal, you gotta subtract 15%. So you're saving 15 grand if you sell your house after 2 years of living in it. After 2 years, I would consider renting it out, making it an investment property, so you can cash flow it, so you can make some cash out of it for the next 2 to 3 years, and hopefully in those 3 years, the market's good enough to where you can sell that thing. All right, so let's continue the video. Sorry, I got kind of off track, but we're learning. So anytime I hear things like this, I want to do a little bit of research so I can fully understand it, and we'll do this together. Oh, whoops.
A human being could possibly make for one reason. You have to pay the house doesn't pay you. And if it doesn't pay you, it's not a good investment.
But it does pay you. It pays you because the payments you're making is building equity in the home. It's not just vanishing out of thin air into somebody else's pocket. There you can write off the interest on the home. A lot of times mortgages are cheaper than the rent, depending on what market you're in, and you own the home. You're in control. You don't have somebody checking up on you or anything like that. Or you don't like. I don't know how many people. I know a lot of renters who were living in a foreclosed home. The owners are renting it out and weren't making mortgage payments. And out of nowhere, they get a notice on their door. They got to move out.
Well, not only,
Hey, baby.
that, but what a lot of people don't realize, because there's so many arguments you always hear over and over again, like, when you rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage. That's my favorite one. When the reality is if you have any sort of typical loan, you're just paying interest to the bank. You could live in a house. You could have a 30-year mortgage, live in a house for 15 years, and still owe exactly what the house was worth.
So check this out. That's a good point. There are actually investors who on purpose only pay interest. On purpose, they only pay interest. Because if they only pay interest, their payments are going to be lower. Their cash flow will be higher. They'll make more money. They don't plan on owning this property for more than 10 years. So they'll make like a 10-year interest-only mortgage, right? And they'll be able to cash flow a bunch, pocket a bunch, but they're betting that the house or the property is going to be worth more in the next 10 years. So they don't care about the equity pay down. They care about the cash flow. They care about the appreciation of the property. That's it. So that's why people are willing to just pay interest. As a matter of fact, a lot of investors only want to pay interest. They don't want to pay equity because they want a cash flow. You have to be creative. You have to be strategic. If you're getting into a property that won't cash flow unless it's interest only, then do it. You cash flow a bunch. You know you're not going to own the property for more than 10 years. You sell it. You make a capital gain off of the appreciation. You do a 1031 exchange. A 1031 exchange is pretty much just a way for you to defer taxes. You can take all the equity from that house, not pay any taxes on it, and put it into a new property or into a new asset, right? These are strategies that, man, like, these guys are leaving out. There's a reason why they're doing it.
When you bought it.
Or it could be worse.
Could be worse.
So, what we know about houses is the bank's going to make if the loan's 6%, the bank's going to make 6% on the loan every year for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that number is, 180%. So that means your house has to go up 180%. No. The down payment has to go up 180% for you to ever catch up with. The house has to go up 180%. The bottom line is, take all the math away. If it don't pay you, why are you doing it?
What?
I don't want to pay for something. Now the other argument that Vlad, I know you've had is, well, you got.
It's funny because we just got done watching Dave Ramsey, and I just feel like these two are the extremes, the total opposites, but they're the total extreme opposites, right? So like one guy says, don't get into any debt. It's crazy. Don't get into any debt, no matter what. That's an extreme. And on the other side, you got a guy that says, don't ever buy a house. Get into debt. But unless unless that asset is producing cash flow, don't do it. Don't do it. You cannot buy a home. To me, that's two different extremes, and they're both extreme. And so that's why I don't know about that, man.
You got to live somewhere. So it doesn't mean you need it doesn't mean you need to live in the same dumb place for 30 years. So it'd be like buying a car for 30 years. We're moving into an environment where people are going to own nothing. People are going to rent clothes. They're going to rent furniture. They're going to rent cars. We're not going to own cars. It's already happening where people are leasing now more than they're owning because they're waking up to the fact, why do I want this car for 7 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you want a new car all the time, and a car does not appreciate. And Timmy said, hold on. Timmy said, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not smart enough to understand this. Too much information to take in. So tell me, what is it that you don't understand? Because I'm intrigued. What is it that's confusing you? So I would say, look, he's comparing buying a car to buying a home. They're two different. It's apples and oranges. A home appreciates. A car does not. It depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. A car is not, a nice car, unless it's an antique and it's going to appreciate, like, people aren't buying that as an asset. People are, like, homes can still be an asset, and we talked about why. Let's continue. I'll answer your question. Yeah, hopefully, Timmy, you respond.
I lease all my cars. I rent all my homes.
Yep.
And all the money I make in my business, I invest. For me, it's in the stock market. For you, it's in real estate, but it's the same type of concept for both of us.
Yeah. For me, like, because I'm a coward. You're much more courageous when it comes to investing than I am. I am a pure coward. Like, I have to have income. For me to, that's why I won't buy Bitcoin. Okay, I won't buy Bitcoin because it's not income. I mean, maybe I would, like, if you wanted.
He's consistent.
Bitcoin,
He's consistent about his idea
and sit on it. But gold. Okay, I need income. I want income every month. And what I do with my income, I don't care how much income it is. The more income, the better for me. Because I want enough income to where I can start doing stupid stuff. This is my economic class for everybody. This is called economics for stupidity. You want enough passive income coming in that you can buy dumb shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's the thing, though. Here's what I would say. For some people, income could just be saving on taxes, right? Let's say you make $100,000 a year. Let's look at this real quick. Let's look at how much interest you can write off per year on your home. Can you write off? Let's see. All right, so you guys see this. So it says taxpayers can deduct the interest paid on first and second mortgages up to $1 million in mortgage debt. So right off the bat, owning a home is going to save you on taxes because you'll be able to write off the mortgage interest. Oh, they got a calculator. Let's see what that's about. Let's get an idea of what this means. All right, you got a $200,000 home, 30-year fixed interest rate, 4.5%, federal tax rate, state monthly payment, rate after tax, blah, 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 closing costs. What the hell? So what is the interest? Total interest, $164,000. So divide that by 30, right? I don't know how your first year tax savings. Look at this. So in the first year, you can write off $3,390. You made money because you own a home as opposed to renting it. Right? You got to start somewhere. Some of you guys are teachers, some of you guys are mechanics or barbers. You got to start somewhere. So buying your home is going to make you money. Plus equity, plus potentially you might get appreciation. Your money is building your home is helping you with your net worth. Now, after your first home, you should start looking at rental property, investment properties. But I would definitely say buying a home is a great strategy. We just looked at the tax benefits. You don't even have to get cash flow in order to like, that's, if you think about it, buying your home just made you $3,390. If we look at that per month, what does that look like? Let's look at this calculator. Sorry, hopefully you guys are following me here. Hopefully I'm not losing you guys. I don't know where my calculator went. What in the heck? What am I doing? I'm sorry, guys. Where the heck is the calculator? I don't know where the calculator went. Hold on, let me see. Maybe I can get a calculator here. Sorry, guys. Yo, I need the comment section to be a little bit more active. All right, so what did we say? We said 3390 divided by 12. So buying a home is actually making you, a $200,000 home is actually making you $282 a month because of the tax benefits. Okay? These are things that they're leaving out. Let's continue.
And until you have passive income, money that's not taxed at the earned rates, people shouldn't buy dumb shit. So you like Floyd Mayweather, he goes out and earns whatever $300 million, and then he spends the 300. He shouldn't do that. He should take the 300, pay the taxes because he's getting taxed at 53%, probably 60%, because he lives in California, I think.
Just so you guys know, I've researched a little bit of Floyd. Floyd, literally, his budget is $1 million a month. He can spend $1 million a month without touching any of his capital. He's literally living off the interest on the money he's made in his career and his budget without touching the money he's made in his career is $1 million a month. He can spend, literally he spends money and it looks like he's spending it all, but he's within budget. If the man made $500 million in his career, spent $200 million of it in his lifetime, he still has $300 million. He can live off of that interest. 3% of, let me see, 3% of $300 million. What is that? Let's go. I don't even think this is going to have room. So we're at 300,000. Is that 300 million? That's, help me out, guys. That's 300 million. So times that, I'm not doing the math right here. But let's say he's getting 5% interest on that. Guys, that is $1.5 million. No, that's $15 million. I'm sorry, $15 million. So if he's earning 5% on the $300 million he has in capital, okay, let's divide that by 12. No. What the hell? I'm sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. He can burn $1,250,000 every single month and not touch a single penny from his capital. I don't know about you guys, but I'm living pretty damn lavish. So Mayweather doesn't spend all his money. At least I don't think so. Not with that kind of budget.
Vegas now. So he's getting taxed at 50. He should take the other $150 million, invest it into something that pays him every month, and then go buy Gucci and Fendi.
Right. I mean, Floyd.
Hey, I agree with that, and I said that during the Dave Ramsey video we watched last. Buy the asset and then buy Fendi. Buy the asset and then pay off your student loan. Buy the asset and then, buy the house of your dreams. I don't own a home right now. I'm renting. I've owned homes, but I would buy something like a business. I would open a business. I would start buying rental property and stuff, and then I'd go buy the car that I want. So, all right. So let me. So that video's over. Let's answer some questions. House or business right now? Right now, I would say business. And let me explain. You're obviously not going to open a business that's affected with what's going on in these times. Open an online business, open a business. You learn from what's going on right now and open a business that makes sense in these times, right? But it produces cash flow. Their business. We created Tomb 45. This is a company that makes 7 figures annually, and I started this company with my friends making shave gel in my kitchen. What's the startup cost of that? You know, it gets more expensive as you take it seriously. But I started the company with a couple $100, and then we injected some money in so that we can make it to the shows and get more inventory. But you're talking about a couple $100, few $1,000, and turning it into millions. You see what I'm saying? You can't really do that with anything else besides a business. You can do it. You can do it with a really good job with really good income, but you have to put that money into something else. You got to leverage it. You got to invest it. So if I'm a barber, if I'm Chris Bossy, I'm a barber, and I don't want to own any barbershops. I don't want to own a business. I would be making my 6 figures behind the chair, being frugal, living on 50 of it, and every year I got 60, 70, 80 to buy real estate with or to invest it. And in 5 years, I should have a bunch of assets that are potentially getting me to the 7-figure mark as far as net worth. But I would say a bit, and to me, rental property is still a business. You put those properties in an LLC and you treat it like a business. So I would say business all day over a house right now. Chris, when you started to dig and learn about finances, where did you start? I started with Rich Dad Poor Dad, a bunch of books. Started going to meetups, like RIA meetings, like real estate investment meetings, you know, and focusing my time and my attention. I stopped watching NBA games and basketball games, and I started focusing more on the Grant Cardones of the world, the Ben Malas of the world, who's dope right now. Like, he's dope. That's the stuff I started consuming. And I started spending most of my time consuming these type of things, and that's what made me a little bit more competent when it comes to finances. But I don't know it all. Don't get me wrong. I'm learning with you guys. That's why I started this channel, because I watch this stuff anyways. I got my opinions on it, and I got my experiences now, and so we watch it together. We learn together. You guys hear my point of view. You hear the whoever we're watching's point of view, and then I get a little bit of influence from the comment section, and we talk about it. But how many of you guys can talk about these topics or watch these topics with your friends and your loved ones? A lot of people don't care about this stuff. So creating this channel was instrumental for me, I feel like. So JB disagrees. He says house. Cool. That might be what's right for you. That's 30 million only. What do you mean that's 30 million? 30 million in what? J Beats. What up? So you wouldn't buy a car in straight cash like a Honda? I wouldn't buy a new car cash. I'm not going to go spend $25,000, $30,000 of cash and buy a car with it. Think about it, guys. You can open a barbershop for $30,000. $30,000. Even if you only make $1,000 a month off of this barbershop, that's $12,000 a year. You put $30,000 in. What's the return on that? Let me see. What's the return on something like that? $30,000. That's a 40% return. Ain't no stock gonna get you that. I mean, right now they probably will, but that's a hell of an investment. Why would I not put it into a barbershop and then buy the car? The barbershop can literally pay, like, that's an extra $12,000 a year. If I didn't open the barbershop, and let's say I make $40,000 a year, I have to subtract that car payment off of the $40,000 every single year. What's the car payment on that? $600 a month, let's say. $600 times 12, that's $7,200 a year. So you gotta subtract $7,200 from $40,000. But if I have a business that's making $12,000 a year and I add it to the $40,000, now I'm subtracting the same $7,200 off of $52,000. Why wouldn't I go this route first? So yeah, what's up, baby? All right. Any other questions before we end this live? You're crazy. I need to start at the basics.
Good.
Right now, you're starting with me. This is the basics. We're going to fast track it. You just gotta ask questions, guys, during this live. I'm gonna do another live tonight, but I need you guys to ask questions because, we can go through this stuff together. We can start from the basics, and you can get mentoring and coaching throughout the process. But you're gonna go slower if you try to go through the same course I went through. Why not leverage somebody who's already gone through a lot of that content to help you fast track yourself? So we're gonna do one more video tonight. I just need an idea of what video we should react to next. So we did Grant Cardone on buying a home. What's a topic you guys want to hear more about? Do you want to see more Grant Cardone, some Dave Ramsey? Who's an influencer that in the personal finance world that you would like to see my perspective or my opinion about? And then we'll watch a video that I find. I'll do some research in the next 10 minutes. I'll find a video that seems interesting that I haven't seen, and then we'll watch it together in about 20, 30 minutes. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to you? You gonna watch these videos and learn, baby?
I might.
You might?
Daddy, Mommy said we can't have snacks.
You can't have snacks?
Mommy said we can't.
Because dinner's ready.
No, she said she's making dinner.
Oh, it's almost done? That's why you can't have a snack.
You said we can.
Timmy said, Rathare, you said it's horrible because you said you could put that money somewhere else. 401k. All right, let's watch a video on 401ks. We'll do that next. Sounds good, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video in about 20, 30 minutes. Maybe sooner. So I'm going to go downstairs and check with my wife. When does she expect dinner to be done? If she says in an hour, we'll do it in the next 20, 30 minutes. If she says in the next, we're going to do it 20, 30 minutes. All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, relax.